artists. Today we are going to create an artwork based on my favorite thing to draw and paint, Jeju. Over spring break, I had the opportunity to do a lot of different paintings, and I painted two scenes of Jeju that I wanted to share with you. One of them is, you guys probably recognize it, it is Jeongbang Falls, and it's got the beautiful canola flowers which are blooming right now. And then the other one, I'm still not completely finished with. This is one of the cliffs outside of the Andok Valley, just on the south side of the island, and I've still got to add my canola flowers down here. I love the beautiful cliffs that cascade down and the basalt volcanic rocks too. So those are really fun to paint. And today's artwork is going to be all about Jeju. So today you're going to need a pencil, white paper, and a black marker, and we will be doing
So today we're going to begin with our paper in a horizontal position, and you'll notice that I'm going to start with a black marker, but I encourage you to begin with a pencil. We are going to take a look at our falls and begin by drawing the upper cliff. So we'll start by following the lines of the cliffs, not the trees, but the cliffs or the rocks going across. I'm going to leave a little space here for my waterfalls because I'm using a marker, but for you using a pencil, you can try going across. And remember, these are rocks. Rocks move. You're going to get the general shape of this as you go through. Now, this is one of the most fun parts of the drawing, is drawing all of the rocks that are stacked up at the base of the falls. And this is such a wonderful and beautiful waterfall because you see the cliffs falling down and the rocks stacked up at the bottom and the fresh water of the falls falling into the ocean. There's no right or wrong place to put the rocks. You can use the picture as a guide or my drawing as a guide, or you can just draw happy little rocks anywhere you choose. Now remember and keep in mind where the waterfalls are going to be going. You're going to follow kind of creating a horizon line, or an area where the earth stops and the sky begins, created by just making little pebbles. So now I'm drawing some little pebbles on the other side of my waterfall here. Since you're going to be using a pencil, you can continue to draw and always go back and forth, but I thought this would be a fun way to go about it. Now this is going to be a really fun part, and this is where the water begins to swoosh, fall off of the mountain, and these are your waterfalls. Now it helps if you make the swoosh, waterfall, waterfall, swoosh, waterfall, waterfall sound as you imagine your beautiful falls cascading down the mountain that you have just created in your world. Now notice how my lines are a little wavy. Feel free to create a zigzag pattern or design your waterfalls. You can go for a more realistic look or design as you go. Now this part is the burst of water at the base where the water begins to crash into the ocean. I'm creating not only some crash bursts of water, but also just a couple little dots to add to my pattern. Remember, the water down at the bottom is exploding with life. So as you begin to draw your rocks, remember that our rocks are going to curve around, and we're going to be creating a small ocean lake inside from the base of the falls. So now we are drawing what's called the middle ground, or the area in the middle. These bigger boulders here are now going into our foreground, or the area closest to us. Notice how as we get closer in the picture, our rocks get bigger. So the bigger rocks are going to be closer to us. that doesn't mean that the rocks at the base of the mountain are actually smaller, but we're using scale and size to give us some perspective. So now you've noticed that I didn't fill the entire area up with rocks because right inside our empty space there, that is where we are going to create our ocean. Now I'm filling in that extra area with some smaller rocks. Remember, the farther away they are, the smaller they will be. Now I'm going to draw some happy little trees or some vegetation, some different plants living at the bottom of our waterfall. You can go into more detail or just draw some of the basic shapes here. I add more detail and create more interest when I'm adding colors later. But this is your picture, so you can choose to draw however you'd like. Now let's tackle the mountain. So as I'm looking at the picture, I'm going to take note of the different cliffs and shadows. Where I see a shadow, I'm going to add a line going down. Maybe add some bushes and some more plants that are growing on my mountain. There are going to be different shadows that fall all through the mountain. Now that I have added my steep cliffs, I'm going to continue to add plants, which will, I'll be able to bring them out a little bit more distinctly, and they'll be able to stand out more when I add my colors later. Use the photo and my drawing as a guide, or you can allow the plants to grow where you see fit. But remember, don't let the plants grow on the top of your waterfall. All right, guys, now the fun begins. We are going to add different details and designs all the way through. I'm adding some water lines. This is of course, the water area. But you can add zigzag lines, bump lines, castle lines, add shapes. Maybe there's some fish or a dolphin in there. Maybe there's a picture of you and your family swimming inside the ocean area. Anything that you want, you can add to your picture. This is all you. So I'm going to add some turbo speed to my photo, but I want you to personalize and add whatever you like. Now, after I added some of these lines, some thicker and thinner lines, I went back and added just a little bit more detail, and now it's time to design the sky. I was inspired by Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night and the beautiful swirls that he added throughout the sky, and so I used him as some inspiration for the background for my falls, but this is completely up to you. Once I've finished my artwork, I'm going to add some color, and I want you to upload your work to Seesaw. If you have any questions, send me an email, and I am very excited to see what you create this week.